Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
On today's episode, we are discussing The Way Home, Season 4, Episode 6, titled, Yes, Sir, That's My Baby.
That's my baby. Is that what that's from?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. That's like a WB, isn't it?
Yeah,
Are you picturing the frog?
God, we're old.
This episode originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on Sunday, May 24th, and is now streaming on Hallmark Plus. We have been loving your feedback on this series, and you can participate in our The Way Home mailbag episodes, which drop on Friday mornings, by emailing us hello@girlsgonehallmark.com with your thoughts, your theories, and your questions, or leaving us a voicemail at 949-329-8090. Wendy,
Megan.
let's hear a synopsis.
Elliot becomes engrossed with uncovering more of his mother's secret history and recruits Kat's help while Jacob reacclimates to life in Port Haven.
Hey, Wendy, what is your first impression of The Way Home, Season 4, Episode 6?
At this point, I am convinced that the writers listen to our show because when Tessa says to Kat, look what you've done now, it immediately activated my inner Steve Urkel. I literally said out loud, did I do that? Yeah.
My first impression is... Yep, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. We're going to start with the least clown-related topics.
Okay.
And that's Alice and her last days, spending some time with Max. Can I start by saying, I'm sorry, what? Alice is leaving already?
Well, it's almost the end of summer-ish. 4 more episodes, at least.
I mean, I guess, but how much time has actually passed? Some time has obviously passed between this episode and the previous one because Dell is recovered and on the mend.
She's not under concussion protocol anymore.
Yes. It just feels like this snuck up on me. And because this is only episode 6, it feels like such an obvious fake out because no way is Alice actually leaving before the season is over.
Alice ain't going anywhere.
I know.
I mean, actually, she might. I don't know. If the
Yes,
show
but
was-
she's not going to go to college at this point. She needs to be in Port Haven for the next few episodes.
Of course. Yes. Oh, so I wonder what the pace of the last couple episodes are going to be then.
I think we're going to end at the end of summer.
Okay. I want to talk about this Alice and Max last day before college situation. Actually, no, let me rewind that. When we get the shot of Alice in her bedroom and it is full of things she's going to take to college, I was like, they are listening to us. Did we not reference like the Wuzu fan?
Of course.
Earlier this season. It's only because we're in this stage of life. You did it last year. I'm sure you had like a room full of stuff that
it was all staged in my garage.
Yes.
Beautifully packed.
I am getting there.
Uh-huh.
I am already clearing a space in my home like that is going to become the like staging area.
Uh-huh.
I did chuckle.
Yes,
I was
absolutely.
Like, I'm glad they are showing a realistic TikTok version.
Yes.
Of what it's like to send your kid to college.
Well, and I loved Kat. She was like, well, we're driving. That means you could take more stuff. Do we need to go shopping? And that really was our vibe. Like, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? They just kept buying stuff.
Yeah.
And then I can tell you haven't done it for the year. They don't need all of it.
You're going to need to run that stuff down for me.
The move out was a lot less organized than the move in, let me tell you.
Oh, boy. Oh, gosh, guys, I'm not ready. But I did appreciate all of that.
I did too. There was a real did you see that moment in this one of these opening packing scenes.
Tell me more.
Alice is packing for college and we see the Queen of Cups shirt that she wore coming back from her internship with Rachel right on top.
Didn't see it.
Right on top.
Oh, I love that.
Just a little nod. I don't think it's really that meaningful other than, we got the tarot connection and all that. But yeah, thought it was cool.
Love that. But the whole Alice and Max.
Yes.
I'm struggling here.
Okay.
With Alice and Max because they are telling us that Alex and Max have become super close during the school year. Obviously, this show takes place during the summer months, right? We didn't see a whole senior school year of them becoming closer. We're
Correct.
only being told like, oh, you were my tutor and we became such good friends and this whole love triangle thing happened between Max, Alice, and Noah. I know it's not really a love triangle, but maybe Max is in love with Alice. I almost said Noah. Max is in love with Alice.
That would make it a triangle.
No, I know. But like, she's not like playing them both.
I agree.
Okay. Anyway, but we haven't seen any of that. So it makes it less weighty to me when they have this like, let's go and do all these things that we've done all year long. Like, it's like Survivor when in the last episodes when they go and revisit all the moments they've had shared together.
They need to tell us the story that they've told us happened, and they tell it through exposition of their memories.
It doesn't work for me here.
It's not as impactful for me seeing it happen, but it does send the message to the audience. We are to believe these two have this relationship. All the stories they're telling, we didn't see them playing chess. We didn't see any of that. It would have been better if we could have gotten some actual visions instead of here's where we studied. If it was a memory of them like sprawled out in sweats with like papers all around them and their laptops on their lap.
Agree.
And a vision of them like in the park playing chess and Max being like, checkmate, right? That would have been the showing, not telling that we want.
Yes.
Without that, we have painted the picture. I think, whether effectively or not, these two developed a friendship over the past year. That's obviously the entire purpose of this day. Before they leave on their scavenger hunt, there's a funny moment in this scene that reminds me that Jacob is kind of new. He's like new to the time period. He's like, I might like to see New York for myself because Thomas spoke about it. In his cadence and the old timiness sound of his voice, it just was amusing to me. It was a reminder that he's not of this time. And Alice was like, I think maybe it's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought it was sweet.
I thought it was sweet too. I want to talk about Alice's really brief interaction with Casey, which finally we get Casey again.
Yes.
Which I think is what makes Alice spiral a little bit at the end.
Sure.
Casey tells Alice, trust your gut. Then Alice and Max are talking and she decides that her gut is telling her New York is not for you right now. And tells Max, I'm not going. What did you think about Max's reaction?
That was going to be my exact question to you. So I thought it was unnecessarily mean.
Me too.
First of all, he calls Noah the Fritter franchise king twice.
Yes.
And Noah's his friend. And I understand that Max has these unrequited feelings for Alice, or maybe not so unrequited, because Alice is clearly, she doesn't seem spun up solely about leaving for college, because she's talking to Casey and Alice says, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with me and Max. Clearly, Alice recognizes that there's something at play here. And she doesn't put a name to it. So he says, like, I'm so disappointed in you and you're going to live your small life in a small town. And I just thought, that's so unfair because he's missed a step. He didn't say, okay, then what do you want to do? He just assumes she's not going to New York, therefore she's going to stay here and work at the Point for the rest of her life.
But let me take that one step further. Is it possible Max is thinking she's going to stay here and then be with Noah?
Sure.
So do you think he's worried that her staying in Port Haven will then lead to Noah and further from him?
Sure.
But
right?
Well, I don't know if that's the motivation or not. I have no idea.
I don't either, because he says we were supposed to do this together separately. Like they were both moving forward. Even if they couldn't be together, they were both moving on the same path in theory. And yeah, that does take her away from Noah. I don't know what I want to assume about Max. Like, is he fully altruistic and he just wants the best for her? Or is there a part of him that's like, well, what I happen to think is the best for her also happens to be the best for me too? But I thought I'm so disappointed in you was so unfair, because I also thought, I get that Alice might feel, I'm not ready to do this. Fine. That's terrifying as the parent of a kid that age, because my next question would be like, okay, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Because you got to do something.
Right.
So I feel like it was unfair for him to make that giant leap. I think there was a way he could have pushed her to think about her future in a way that wasn't so condemning. Yes, demeaning. Great word.
My next question for you in this scene where Alice turns and says, I'm gonna walk home. And he's like, no, let me take you home. It's not safe.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything there? When is Port Haven not safe? Or is it just not safe to walk?
Colton was hit by a car on those roads.
I know.
So I noticed that too. And maybe it's just maybe you shouldn't be walking home in the dark on these country-ish roads. The thing I noticed about that scene, though, is when he insists on driving her home, there's a small moment where he appears to start to be walking to open her door, and she just waves him off. And to me, that sets up so much about their relationship. Like, A, that's who he is. Like, I'm mad at you, but I'm still going to open your door. And B, she knew exactly what he was doing because it must be something he does all the time.
Right.
I thought it was a nice little moment there.
It's the same.
I think that's it on my thoughts about Alice's trajectory. I'm really curious if she had any thoughts beyond, well, it's not New York. Because I'm thinking, well, maybe it does make sense for her to go to Toronto with Max. Because I don't think it makes sense for her to stay in Port Haven. Although Colton did, and he lived a life that he was proud of. So, and I don't think there's any shame in living a, quote, small life.
I don't think so either. And if she's not ready to leave, she's not ready to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about Kat and Elliot and their time traveling trip.
Okay.
First, I want to say, Kat, your kid's leaving in a day and you're really going to jump in the pond? Like, is this wise decision making?
Well, that's why. Is Alice supposed to be leaving in the next day?
Kat says, I'm driving my kid to college in 2 days when she's talking to Elliot.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought the Lorelai Gilmore would be spending all day with Rory.
Right.
Packing her up and driving around to get her last minute supplies and doing let's have our last milkshake at the point. I thought, well, that's weird.
It's weird. Well, especially dangerous too, going to a time where she knows she is in danger there. And what if she got caught there?
She's already been in prison.
Yeah.
Twice.
Kat
acts before she thinks.
She acts before she thinks. She's way too impulsive. She thinks she's doing good, and she really mucks it all up every single time. When is she going to learn her lesson?
Not in this episode.
God, it's so frustrating. Francisco, weigh in, friend. Send us an email.
I can just see Francisco at the end of this episode being like, no, what are you doing?
Seriously.
So Elliot is lying to Kat. He has not told her of his investigating, and he's a man on a mission. We see him and he's like, his eyes are wild.
Obsessively,
yes.
Right?
His eyes are wild when he's looking at those newspapers and he's making photocopies, and it seems like he's discovered something. Although
that never plays out.
It never plays out because Kat is the one who shows up and she's like, Madame Futura, or whatever her name is.
Contessa.
And then they see it says, and he's like, Contessa Futura, that's Auntie Coop. She was at the...
Yeah.
Right? Everyone from episode 1 feels vindicated that Tessa was the fortune teller in that first episode. So whatever Elliot had discovered,
when his eyes got real wide and
we don't learn what it is.
Nope.
Also, perhaps related to that, before they jump, Elliot's like, no matter what happens, you take care of yourself. And she's like, I'm not going to do that. And if you think back to our listener mailbag episode, listener pointed out, Elliot is in danger in the past, whether or not he goes to the past. His future is in danger. Something happens to the Augie boys. Something happens to Elliot while he's there.
So maybe one of the papers said something about the Augie boys. Maybe it was...
Maybe.
And he's like, oh, man, like, if that happens, then that's going to change my future. So maybe he feels like...
But it has already happened.
Yeah, I know. This is where my brain hurts on things.
Did you find that the circus had ominous vibes when they arrived?
Yeah, a little bit, especially some of the elements of the circus they showed, like the
fire breathing
characters of the circus, like kind of creepy.
Yeah, they weren't leaning fun clown. They were leaning a little bit creepy clown, and the music was incredibly ominous.
Yeah.
Here's what I thought was interesting. When they first spot the Augie boys with Grayson, Kat calls them by their names. And Elliot's like, this is brand new information. That's my great-grandfather. Why are we acting so? They're Augustines. Of course they're related to you.
Yeah, I don't understand why he was so surprised.
Yeah. Duh. I guess it's weird seeing them, but...
You didn't say Little Mo. That's my great-grandfather.
Little Mo.
Which I thought was the little guy, but it was actually the bigger guy's name, Little Mo.
And the little one's Percy.
Yeah. Elliot is, somebody wrote in our mailbag about how the writers change Elliot to serve the narrative of the story.
Yeah.
And I do see that in this episode because he is acting so emotional and reckless, like running after, well, I guess, he was like, I'll watch the Augie boys and you go and find Tessa. And then he gets in a fight, which the fight scene I did enjoy a little bit because, Elliot's like, I knocked him out. Like he was excited about it. But this whole Elliot stuff was so interesting to me in this episode.
I think so too. He's many different people to me. I loved his little right hook. Thought it was funny. And he's like, ow, poor Elliot. I'm sorry, Evan Williams. Okay, there's a lot going on.
In this time period, there's a lot to cover.
There's a lot to cover. So Fern and Grayson and Cliff, we're really establishing like the Cliff flirtation moment of it all. Like Cliff comes in and does like the strongman bell when Grayson couldn't do it. And Fern seems to be openly flirting with Cliff in front of Grayson. And there's one point where Grayson's like, oh, take care of her. And she like puts her arm through Cliff's
on purpose,
arm.
Though. On purpose. Fern's in on the distraction. That's my takeaway of it.
Good point. Yeah, the distraction happening down at the Cove. Good point.
Yeah, like she's, oh, that was so sweet. Oh, you're going to take care of me. She, I think, realizes that Cliff is into her, and so she plays up to it. Then she can distract him, and then Grayson can do whatever.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Whatever.
That makes a lot of sense.
Down.
Thank you. I like the fortune-telling scene in the tent. I like the staging of it. I like that all of our players are there. I like that there's lots of extras to fill out the crowd. It's tense. Cliff's kind of pacing in the background. I find Cliff amusing. Elliot is reacting with these big facial reactions the entire time. And of course, Kat bumbles herself on stage. And she's like, so
Did I do that? This is what I'm talking about.
Like,
she's driving me crazy.
And then she's like, Tessa, you're a teacher. Tessa, we have to get Coop.
In front of everybody.
Be a little more subtle. My gosh.
I am here from the future.
No freaking finesse.
I can't. No finesse. You are right. You're so right. You are so right.
And then there's some like so on the nose scenes. Tessa's like, I see much danger in your life. You'll visit many lands, yet remain in one place.
Curious. Yeah.
And then, of course, Grayson being like, Port Haven shall have a festival, and I shall be in the fall to extend the season, and we'll call it the fall. I just was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we talk about the end of their time there, I want you to talk about some of your did you see that moments from this time.
Okay, literally watching this, and I send Megan.
Did you go,
yes. In this, I'm sure I'm not the only one to see it, but Megan did not see it.
No, I did not. And I watched this twice.
So when Kat and Elliot arrive at the circus and they stop and they watch the fire breather, behind her is a advertisement for the great Calvert and his disappearing coins. Y'all, it is Sam who is featured on this poster. It's cartoony, but it is Sam.
Yes.
And they show it not once, not twice, but 3 or 4 times. When Kat runs after the woman in the red cloak, she turns around. She's in front of that same. It's a poster, like an advertisement. That's all I can think about. A billboard. I sent Megan a text. I was like, oh my God, that's Sam. I sent you like 3 pictures because it was obvious to me.
It looks like Sam. Like the guy has white hair like Sam.
And I can't remember when Sam came onto the show, if it was season 2 or season 3. Do you recall?
The coins is at the season 2 finale because he's there before Jacob comes home.
Okay. They talk at the dinner table. Somebody brings up something about coins and he's like, what? Coins? This is the confirmation that I needed that Sam is a player in this. I mean, obviously, I think I suspected because that time where he sees them at the pond and he has this weird smirk and like he's there and he's not there. And how this is going to unfold, I don't know. But I want to know if anybody else caught it. And I have pictures. I'm going to put them in our show notes.
Just FYI, John Calvert serves as the primary series producer.
Is that how they use that name? Oh, that's funny.
He's a producer on the way home.
I know you had looked. I also looked to see if there was any connection in names Calvert with Sam's name, which is Sam Bishop. And then it had me thinking, I know we had talked in previous seasons about the name Bishop in chess. You said from last season, or I think it was last season, they found a chess piece.
Alice and Max.
Evie's, right?
They find a white bishop chess piece and an old cell phone, remember? And the cell phone did Casey tell them it was theirs?
I can't remember about the cell phone, but I just thought it was so interesting that we had a chess talk in this episode.
Yeah, and we arrive with Max and Alice and their chess.
Yes. So maybe I'm a clown. I don't know.
I don't know either, but this element of the show ends with the ultimate did I do that moment.
Yes.
Where they have this realization. Kat flashes back. She's like, it's a distraction. The circus is a distraction. The shipment is going right now out of the cove. And they run down and they see the Augie boys and they see Tessa. And we hear them talk about Capone. They say, Capone's going to love you. Kat spots Tessa and has absolutely no chill. Stop! Running out of the trees. Then they call Tessa boss. And Kat's like, boss? Tessa levels her gun at Kat. And then Elliot, for the second time in the episode, plays the hero. And he's like, stop, no, Mom, it's me. It's Elliot. I'm your son.
Tessa gives a nod to Little Mo, and Little Mo whacks Elliot on the back of the head.
He gets clocked on the head.
Then fade to black.
You're right.
So she knows Elliot, her son, is standing in front of her.
And has him taken out.
Has him knocked out.
Yeah. So is that another distraction where she's trying to get the Augie boys off of her scent? Is she really a bad guy? Or is she like, I got to protect Elliot. If they know who he is, I got to pretend like I want to get him out of here too.
You know, that's a good question, because in my mind, I'm like, well, Tessa's bad.
Yeah.
But maybe you're right. Maybe this is just a distraction. Like she's like, okay, well, I got to act. I'm going to protect Elliot here because the Augie boys could hurt him. So I don't know. I guess I was kind of didn't see that coming of Tessa being the boss.
I didn't see it coming at all.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't either. But I am just trying to go along for the ride right now. I am trying to enjoy the ride. Let's take a quick break and we're going to come right back to continue discussing The Way Home. Let's talk about Del and Stormy. And our girl Stormy got 4 scenes in this episode. 4 horse scenes.
Stormy's a male horse.
Okay, our guy Stormy, my dude Stormy, you're right. She calls him boy. Got 4 scenes.
Stormy is a storytelling tool here. We need to understand Stormy is 100% a metaphor for Jacob.
Yes. She's trying to make herself okay with the idea that Jacob may not be here to stay throughout this episode. And I think she does that by continuing to put it out there that she understands that he might not be staying. And she kind of does it like, she says to Jacob, like, I don't want you training the horse. I don't want him getting attached to you and then you leave again. And what's that going to do to him?
That was season 1, Del. She was mean.
Yes.
I thought she was really mean.
And then she, in talking with Alice earlier in the episode, Alice is like, you know, Jacob's just back. I don't know if I'm ready to leave you. And Del's like, who knows how long that's going to last. And I feel like she puts it out there in a joking way, almost to just build up this armor. Like the more she says Jacob might leave, the more likely she is to be okay with it when it happens. And then, of course, at one point while training Stormy, she says, don't you leave me too.
Yeah, I think this is really kind of the emotional thesis of the entire episode is of like, don't leave me. It's focused at the horse, but it's really about Jacob.
Yeah, maybe if she can get Stormy to come back to her, or maybe it's like, I just got to hold on to something. Like I'm losing everything. I did look up the term joining up because she says to Jacob, I tried to get him to join up like my writing instructor taught me. And it's exactly what she was doing. You get them to move around the ring, you change directions, and then you stop and wait for the horse to come to you to build trust with the trainer. I think the horse people might enjoy that.
It's kind of crazy how like Stormy charges at her at one point.
That's a little scary.
Yeah.
It's not doing much these past 2 episodes to assuage your fears of horses.
Oh, mine? Yeah, no. I'm like,
I'm not afraid of horses, but it's not working. The cinematic music did swell as Stormy joins Dell in the center of the ring.
Yeah, it was sweet. It was a nice moment for Dell, and then Dell and Jacob have the nice moment at the end that kind of mirrors it, you know. Jacob's like, we'll get to Jacob's decision and how he comes to his decision, but at the end, like he's like, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. So gives her a little bit of peace.
Well, let's talk about Jacob.
All right.
First, let's talk about Danny.
Danny is so suspicious to me. And I don't know, is that purposeful? It's got to be purposeful, right?
I assume.
First of all, I was wondering, I'm like, where's Danny? Let me remind myself. Danny is working at Goodwin's Good Wine Vineyard, right?
Yeah.
The vineyard that Jacob tried to burn down.
Correct.
And then Jacob goes over there and he's like, hey, I'm back in town. Like, I'm here to help you. Why would they ever allow Jacob?
That's what I thought too. He's like, I thought I want to get my hands dirty, jump back into things. Do you think they're going to let you back in Goodwin's Vineyard?
Right.
Danny seems hesitant the entire conversation. The vibes are off. Now, I think Danny is only here just as a reminder that Danny exists.
Okay.
Because Jacob, in this early scene back at home, he makes several comments about how he's not sure how long he'll be here. I don't know what my future plans are. And he and Kat at the kitchen table, Jacob's asked, like, why did you let the threatening letters drop? And Kat's like, well, that was Mom's doing. But she's like, interestingly enough, they stopped after you left. I think the only reason Danny's here is to remind us, like, oh, we're a little suspicious of Danny. Danny has a typewriter. Oh, these threatening letters were here. That's weird. What's going on? I think that's the purpose Danny serves.
I think Kat is always pursuing the wrong things. She should have pursued the letters over.
Yes. And I think it's so funny. He's like, I thought you were this great investigator.
I know. That's some shady shit brothers and sisters say to each other, right?
We talked about Jacob running into Alice at the point, and while Jacob is there, he sees Casey out the window. And while he's chasing off after them, he runs into Miss Old School.
Abby. Pretty coincidental. Fate, maybe.
Oh.
Or a sign.
Okay, when Jacob and Abby tell each other, oh, our families are from here. Mine too. It is the world's largest omission that neither of them says, who's your family?
I know, but I didn't even clock it. Not at all.
This town has 8 people in it.
I know.
And we have 3 main families.
I
just
know.
thought, hello, obviously she's going to be we're going to have beef.
Did we know that Max had an older sister?
I don't know. I wasn't saying we should have made the connection. I just thought, oh, it's my sister. Oh, you're that Landry? You tried to burn down my dad's farm?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Goodwin? Okay. I mean, fine. I just was like...
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay. Jacob runs into Casey in the barn.
Yes.
And Casey's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I tried to go home. The pond wouldn't let me. I'm trying to figure it out. In this moment, Abby arrives and Abby and Jacob have a conversation through the window and Casey disappears. Does this give you any indication or any thoughts about who Casey is in relation to Jacob and Abby?
To me, it screams that Casey is the child of Abby and Jacob.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because Casey was not able to leave after telling Alice, follow your gut. Because Casey goes, maybe that's it. I'll go try and jump back in the pond. And then Casey's still there. So then Casey tells Jacob, what does a name matter in the end? And Jacob says, so you're not a Goodwin. And then that's when Abby shows up.
No, they're a Landry.
They're
Casey Landry?
They are a Goodwin.
Yeah, a Goodwin Landry.
Yeah.
Yes. I think so. I think that, to me, it felt like, oh, this is okay.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I don't mind Casey being the child of these two.
Oh, no, me neither. I did have this thought, though, while watching this scene, the 2 interactions, Casey with Alice, Casey with Jacob. This is the most open a time traveler has been with someone from the past, right? So we have Casey, obviously from the future, time traveling to the past. Why don't any of our current 2026 time travelers ever have, not be so open? Kat and Fern,
Yes.
but
They're only open with other time travelers. Casey is open with Jacob and Alice, who are both time travelers.
okay, but Colton was a time traveler.
Yes.
They could have been open with Colton.
Yes. And ultimately they are, but yes.
I just thought it was interesting.
I think it's interesting too. Once Casey was discovered, because I think Alice is the one who's like, I know you're a time traveler. I know you're jumping in the pond. Perhaps Casey was left with no choice. I think if Colton had confronted Alice in the past and been like, I know who you are, maybe that would have been a different situation.
Yes. Anyway.
I have one more comment about this scene.
Yes.
Slightly tangentially related. Jacob goes to tell Del that he's decided to stay. And he says, my battle is not without, but within. Mm-hmm. Like, I got to deal with this myself. Doesn't have anything to do with the external.
Yes.
It reminds me of a line
Okay.
from one of my favorite movies,
Oh.
10 Things I Hate About You,
Okay.
where the character of Patrick Verona, who, interestingly enough, is named after a Shakespearean character, played by Heath Ledger, talking to Kat, played by Julia Stiles. Kat, played by Julia Stiles. And Kat's like, everybody loves Bianca. Like, Bianca's, she's so pretty and she's so popular and she's like so whatever classically. And Patrick says to her, she's without. And that has stuck with me. Like, she's not all that. Like, you're the unique, interesting one that I'm into. I've never heard someone use without as an adjective before. That's all. So Jacob's going to stick around.
He'll stick around and let fate happen.
And evidently, Abby's going to stick around too.
Apparently so. Yeah, I don't hate those two together.
No.
I like it. But we only got 4 episodes, so.
No, but Abby's like, well, I don't believe in fate, but I do believe in signs. I was like, it's the same thing.
It's just, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I do have one thought. Mm-hmm. At what point does trying to fix the past become an inability to accept life as it happens? Mm-hmm. I can't help but think about this because Kat is always trying, like, she's most addicted to fixing things.
Yes.
And we hear Fern tell Kat time and time again, like this season, like, not everything is yours to fix. Mm-hmm. So is this where the series ends? The Landry's just deciding we're done. We're just going to let life happen as it is.
Hopefully with the resolution of the Tessa story. Yes. Because I understand Jacob was a mystery that needed to be solved. Tessa is a mystery that needs to be solved. Alice's time traveling is more, I've made these connections and I don't want to leave them behind. These are people who deserve my time. Like you said, Kat and Alice travel for different reasons. I would kind of like to see them be done.
Me too. I also have another question. This is what I was...
But here's the thing. We know we're not done because Casey is traveling from the future.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that Kat and Alice have to travel.
Sure, yes. Hopefully Kat and Alice are a wrap on time traveling.
The legacy of time travel with the Landrys can continue.
Yes. You want our current players to be done.
When do they decide we don't need to go back and, like, fix every little thing?
Mm-hmm. I'm envisioning, like, middle-aged Alice making one last jump, and it's to Evelyn in her last days.
Oh. Okay.
And she can say, look at the wonderful life I built with your grandson, Max.
I need you to explain to me, like a 5-year-old, the math on Tessa's age. I need to understand how old she was when she left and what year she left, and then where did she go and get stuck? Because she's aging in real time.
Yeah.
In 1925, she's probably Del's age, 70-ish, right? Mm-hmm. She's been gone for how long? So I just need to know, like, where did she go back to that she has been able to age in time?
We discussed it. 18.
And why that year? Why did they go to that year?
Well, that's where the pond sent them. We don't know that.
I need some explanation on that.
Yeah, so there's no explanation on why they went to that year other than that it was 42 years.
And it's Tessa and somebody. We don't know Tessa and who, but it is, do we know for sure Griffin?
We don't know for sure.
For sure.
We're operating under that assumption.
Yeah, so I'm just like, it's so complicated to me. I'm having the hardest time wrapping my head around it.
I think Tessa's story is, as we understand it, their listener mailbag did posit that Tessa is from the future. 1983 wasn't her present time. I don't know. But I think if you accept the story as we've been given it, Tessa was in her early 20s in 1983, jumped back to the 1800s, and then just lived the next 42 years.
Correct. I'm trying to figure out the year that she jumped to.
Yeah, we don't know what
And
the
why.
relevance is there. We
Yes.
don't know anything about the relevance of that time
Okay.
at all.
All right.
We still got to know what the heck is going on with Sam. We still need to know who Casey is. Is that a wrap on the horse? Is that a wrap on the horse? What's the 5 1 and 4 came out? Is Tessa truly good? Is Tessa truly bad? Where were they in the beginning of episode 1 in the future? There are so many questions right now.
So many.
So many. We have 4 episodes to go. I was glad to see Casey return.
Me
and
too.
in fact, I saw Von Murray's name in the opening credits.
So did I.
And I was like, yes, they're back.
I hope that's not just it, though.
No. I read that the writers did say we get resolution on Casey this season.
Excellent.
Folks, thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. If you love this podcast, we do love your 5-star ratings and reviews. Drop them right there in the Apple Podcast app, and we'll be back next time with more Hallmark reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.